Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is Gremlins and Ants and Pain Bodies. Oh my. This article is from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort. I wrote it a while ago, so if I encounter anything that seems out of date, I will pause and give you an update. Eckhart Tolle has introduced the concept of the pain body to the world. Loosely interpreted, it means an aspect of your energy field that's made up of pain, painful experiences, painful memories, painful thoughts. And it connects to the collective pain body, humanity's collection of painful experiences, thoughts, and memories. Neuropsychiatrist Daniel Ammon talks about automatic negative thoughts produced by our brains, and psychotherapist Rick Carson calls them your gremlins. The moment you make a positive step forward, gremlin voices arise to negate your progress. Now, I would also add, since I wrote this, Jill Bolte Taylor, who is a brain scientist and had a stroke in her late 30s, and she wrote a book called My Stroke of Insight. She talks about having this cluster of cells in the left side of our brain that is responsible for organizing things, like reminding us, oh, we need to pick up our dry cleaning as we're driving home. And when she had her stroke, that whole side of her brain went offline, and it took 2 years for her personality basically to come back. So it's interesting to realize that as I talk about this, there's different names for a similar phenomenon that really heavily influence us in the world. One of the first assignments I give my coaching clients is to recognize these gremlin voices and then personify them. Sometimes you can do that as a cartoon character and then come up with a way to tame them or at least get the focus away from them. One client named her gremlin Eeyore, and she sent it out to pasture. Another was a super corporate manager. Now, this client was an artist and really didn't need that energy. It drove her crazy and thwarted her creativity. So she sent it on a fact-finding mission to another country, and it never came back. Another was a compilation of all the negative comments from an abusive ex-husband. And all they needed to do was raise their hand and a gesture, stop, that silenced it. Another one took a long time to uncover it and realize that it was their grandmother who used to sit in their kitchen and criticize people as they walked by. Mine can be more like rabid chihuahuas. So I just throw kibble to the woods and they run off and leave me alone. I often call them rats rather than ants and ask the client, do you really want to keep feeding your rats? Engaging in conversation with them, allowing them to direct your thoughts, it feeds that energy. It's what that energy wants, to draw your attention away from the direction that you're going in. So I'll also add to this is that these are actually the combination of all the programming you've had since you were a little child, which was originally well-meaning. Your mother was saying, hold my hand when we cross the street. And now you're an adult, you get frozen because my mother's been dead for 10 years and there's no one's hand to hold, and I can't cross the street without her. So anytime that you break out of that mold, that you step boldly forward, it's going to set off alarm bells in your head, and those negative voices get louder, even when the change that you are making is a healthy one. Eckhart Tolle's technique is more simple. You just notice, but you don't do anything. So you stop feeding it with your attention, and eventually its voice gets quieter and quieter until it dies away altogether. Or maybe it just gets bored and goes somewhere else. When you realize that it's not you, you stop reacting to it, and the results are amazing. When I first discovered this, I started consciously redirecting my thoughts towards positive things, and I came out of a depression that I must have been in for years. Others find a new burst of energy, renewed enthusiasm for life, and creativity that they had either lost years ago or never knew they had. Eckhart talks about the pain body going dormant, that you think it's gone until something awakens it to bring it out in full force again. I think that we peel away the layers that contribute to it. And when it does reactivate after a quiet period, it's not that we haven't done any work. We're just at a deeper level or at a different aspect of it. Your life is an ongoing spiritual remodel, and there's always some part that requires expansion or clearing out. The collective pain body easily triggers our individual pain body through news reports, movies, and even everyday life dramas. You can find it helpful to avoid the news and only watch comedies. And with family or friends, I try to not react dramatically, even if the situation seems dramatic, in order not to get drawn into whatever version of reality they're in. I invite you to do this for yourself by simply noticing the conversation in your head. Notice if it's negative in any way, and if so, change the subject by consciously redirecting your thoughts. If it is persistent, you may want to personify it in some way and come up with a creative solution to silence it. Duct tape comes to mind, but you may find something that works better for you. Something quick and simple so you can turn your focus to something more pleasant and productive. You'll find that it won't take very long before your whole life is transformed. So my comments for this too is that you can see this going on in the world today where everybody is triggered. Social media, and also deliberate misinformation feeds into those inner gremlin voices and can completely drive you crazy, send you off in the wrong direction. You'll be believing a reality that actually simply isn't true. We've kind of lost our inner compass. I believe this is because we're going through a collective evolutionary phase where we are all raising up to a brand new way of experiencing reality. And so our inner gremlin, our inner automatic negative thoughts are going nuts because we're breaking out of those patterns. Now, there were useful reasons for your mother to program you to be more safe. I mean, you were 2.5 years old and you can't run across the street. Cars won't see you. So, of course, you're going to hold your mother's hand. It's when we get stuck on those things that no longer are useful or beneficial to us that we end up living very small lives, very constricted lives, and we're inherently very unhappy. The idea of the pain body feeds into some of the things I've also already been talking about in this series of morning musings. If you think about that, our bodies are virtual picture galleries of all the impressions that we have absorbed from people's projections and created and projected our own. All of those images and pictures that are within our energetic space are connected with a lot of painful emotions and feelings. As we evolve, we have the opportunity to de-energize all of that and live much more expanded and happier lives. I invite you to play with this, to notice whenever you have a negative thought and rewrite the script. Change the conversation in your head. If you find yourself arm wrestling with these gremlins, that's not productive and they've won. So if it's consistent negative thought, you might find some way to immediately dismiss it. You can send it down the hallway to the principal's office. You can throw kibble into the woods. You can put it in a car seat in the back seat so that you can drive the car. So I invite you to try this. If you notice anything interesting, please put it in the comments below. I love to read your comments. And if you'd like to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I offer individual sessions where I can take a look at your life purpose. I can answer any questions you might have, whether it's past or future, relationships, money, love, anything like that. Also, if you want to be able to do this for yourself and learn more of these techniques, I have a coaching special going on right now, and you can go to joan-newcomb.com to check that out. Also, down below, there is a free sample of one of those techniques. It's called the Skybox technique. So if you like these videos, please like them, and it's free to subscribe and share them with your friends and family. And I look forward to seeing you in another Morning Musings.